Hello there, and welcome to the Marketing 101 for Small Business Owners podcast. I am your host, Philippa Channer, and I'm a content marketing strategist, and I love helping entrepreneurs and small business owners create, implement, and measure their marketing plans and content strategies. And I started this channel to help business owners like yourself take control of their marketing and get more effective results. And this month, I launched a small series on the value and importance of local SEO and how small businesses can improve their chances of getting found online. We are now on week 3, and I've brought in a special guest to add their experience to the conversation. Amber Chaney. She is the CEO and founder of Chaney Communications, and she has over 12 years of experience in content marketing, social media marketing, and communications leadership. For 10 years, she served as a communications manager and then deputy director of leading veterans nonprofits in downtown Silver Spring, Maryland. And she has produced content with strategic marketing processes that include publications, promotions, and both paid and organic ad placement. And then she's went on to lead strategic campaigns for the federal government and for for-profit businesses. Now, I've asked Amber to join me in this conversation to help small business owners understand some of the tactics that they can do now to improve their local SEO. She has a lot of experience in social media, so let's see what we can do with our social media accounts to improve our local SEO results.
All right, Amber, I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. Everyone, this is Amber Chaney, I just mentioned.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad you invited me.
Yes, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you've got a busy schedule, but I know you have a lot of expertise and knowledge and experience to share. So I could not, miss this opportunity. And so I know you also offer marketing plan services, which is amazing and so valuable. And one of the things I've struggled with is really convincing my clients the value and the importance of marketing plans to really invest the time that's needed to develop it. So, how can a small business develop a marketing plan, either on their own or with somebody's help?
Great question. And thanks again for having me. I really love marketing and social media. I'm so passionate about it and so passionate about small businesses. And being a small business owner myself, I know how imperative it is that we help each other and share our knowledge. So that's a great question. How to build a marketing plan for a small business. I think the first step is so critical for small businesses to first realize that it's an investment, that they do need to invest time and money, and that they're going to see a huge return in that. So how to build a marketing plan for a small business is determining what that need is. Do you need somebody on your staff who can dedicate time? Do you need to hire a marketing team? Building that marketing plan is first establishing how you're going to execute it and then determining what you need. Some small businesses use social media. Some do networking. That's a form of marketing. Some do a podcast. Some do a newsletter. So building a marketing plan is first establishing how you will execute it, then establishing a budget for it, and then going on to determine a plan and really writing down what your goals are. I think that I meet with a lot of different companies, and some say, hey, Amber, I'm a nail shop. I'm at capacity already. I have enough clients, but maybe their goal in marketing is to spread awareness about safe nail practices, or maybe they want to grow their social to brand themselves as an expert in the field. So I think that when you're building a marketing plan, you got to determine what are your goals and then try to find the proper platforms to execute it.
Yes, totally agree. So many business owners that I've spoken with, if they don't have a marketing plan, we start there with the goals and what they're trying to accomplish as a business. And I'm surprised, like a lot of businesses haven't sat down and really thought about what their goals are and what their next step of success is. And
Right.
so that is so important in the process.
It is.
And now, as you're going through this, do you have any platforms or different tactics that you really go towards to help build this marketing plan?
Oh, for sure. I think that especially when we're talking about small businesses, again, myself being a small business owner, I know that sometimes budgets can be limited, and especially if you're just starting out. So I always recommend going to social media. It's a free platform that if you just dedicate the time to, you get the most benefit out of. Secondary to social media, I love newsletters and tying that to your website. I think the best thing is to drive traffic to your website and have that be your virtual storefront that shows what your team does, what services you offer, and having a newsletter that reminds your clients that, hey, we're here, this is what we do, this is what's current, this is what's going on. So I think that outside of spending money, that there's so many free platforms small businesses can take advantage of. And I think that social media is one of them, and having a strong website, a strong presence, and tying a newsletter to that can really help a small business grow.
Yes, I totally agree because, like you're saying, it helps to show your expertise, show the knowledge and value that you have in this product or service that you're offering, and it gives people the opportunity to get to know you before really investing in you. So I think that's a great tool to have for every business.
Exactly.
And now, after you go through this process with the business owner, you develop a marketing plan, and we start implementing it. How do we measure the success of the marketing plan? How do we know it's working?
That's such a great question. I really love that. The first thing I do tell clients is to make sure you have a timeline that, any marketing plan, whether it's social media, whether it's designing a website, whether it's doing an event launch, you have to give it a timeline to really be able to gauge how it's effective. I love to start with 90-day periods of investing again that time and that money and seeing that return in 90 days and seeing what works, what didn't work, how to pivot. So time is really important in measuring success. But some ways that you can see if your marketing plan is working is by traffic. Are you getting more leads? Are you getting more contracts signed? Are people engaged? And I also think looking at that engagement, are people asking the right questions? Are they asking about your services? Or if you're posting a cool picture, are they saying, hey, what's that about? I'm really being able to see the audience engagement and what questions are being prompted and how they're coming to you, and also seeing if the traffic coming to your pages and how well they're working are ways that you can track if it's working for you. And again, having that timeline of 30 days, of 90 days can allow you to switch things. Hey, I'm doing a lot of social media, we're posting pictures and videos, but we're not seeing as much engagement, or we're not seeing as much traffic. So now we're going to switch to newsletters where we feel like we're personally reaching out to our audience and changing the messaging. And so that's super important, just having time to track things, engaging how your audience responds is in that traffic.
Yeah, I totally agree about the 90 days. Like that's what I do with my clients. My All of my contracts and agreements are for 3 months, only, because I feel like, yeah, that's a good time to test something out, try it, see how it feels, how the client likes it and how the audience is responding. And then we can decide after that if we want to keep going and make it bigger or pivot like you're saying and try something new. So I totally agree with
Great
that.
point. Yes.
And I love your point about traffic and getting website traffic because that leads into one of my our theme for this month is local SEO and really getting our websites and our information found by the right people, especially for businesses who are operating on a local level. So can you tell me something about SEO and local SEO and how that fits in?
Yeah, that's another great question. So, search engine optimization is so important. It's about getting your business at the forefront. Everybody's electronic, everybody's using search engines like Google, and it's so vital that if, like for myself, if I'm teaching a social media service, I want people in Maryland, DC, and Virginia to type in social media and be able to see Chaney Communications. So that's why it's so important that you be able to have that search engine up to date so that you can drive traffic to your website. And I think why it's important also to make sure you brand your website to be able to promote locally is that for small business, it's about building your reputation. It's about people in your community knowing who you are. And sometimes I encounter small businesses who say we're trying to grow and navigate, and they might be a bakery or a store, but at their home front, people aren't sure what they do or where they are. So using local SEO is a way to say, I'm here, this is what we do, and first have your local community support your local customers, and then you can grow to international, then you can grow to other states. But it's so important that you're marketed and broadcast and known about on your home front. I think SEO helps with that a lot. And having a sharp website is just so important for small businesses in general.
Awesome. Yes, I totally agree. And one thing I've noticed too, which I was guilty of it myself, but as I started learning more, I realized it's bigger. So when I think of SEO, I do think, website, what's happening just on my website. But I do understand now that there are things we can do on our social media platforms as well to improve our search engine optimization results.
Yes,
Do you have any
absolutely.
feedback on that as well?
Yes, oh, for sure. I think social media can be a huge driver to your websites. I think that because, especially during COVID, we saw that when everything else went down, social media was at its greatest. When storefronts were closed and businesses I worked at were like, what do I do now? We're just in person. We don't even have a website. We don't know what to do. That social media was able to engage them with the public and be make new clients and really build your branding. So I think that and having a website, it's critical to take advantage of that free platform that you're able to link to your website. So I think social media is a tool to drive traffic to your SEO and to your website. And I also think it's a tool to brand yourself. Social media is where you can show your face to the world. That could be your virtual storefront. You can show tidbits of your website and your brand and get people used to you and familiar with you. I think that any small business that didn't take advantage of that is going to miss opportunities to push people to their website. And of course, social media should be a small window to that big website that shows everything, your team and your blogs and all the stuff. They can get connected to you, register for your newsletter, but just using social media as that tool to push people to where you want them to go and show them what you want them to do.
Yes, I've been guilty of it sometimes, relying too much on social media as my main platform and ignoring my website.
Right.
And I've heard so many times social media is rented real estate. All these platforms could change, and it would completely change your business if you're completely relying on Facebook or
Yep.
Instagram. Make sure you have your website, even if it's a free platform and it's not a unique URL. At least you control it.
I love what you said about social media shutting down because I do talk to clients about social media shouldn't be your only platform. Because I was in a workshop once where they said, what would you do if social media completely went down? And it's happened before. Instagram went down, Facebook has went down. People go crazy. There are big influencers are like, when they get locked out of their Instagram or Facebook permanently because they got hacked or whatnot, they lose everything. So it's really about having, a whole marketing plan that has components of social media, ties to your website, has a newsletter. Then if your website's down, if your social media is down, you're never locked out of everything and you still have your clients somewhere. I have one client that her Instagram got hacked, and that's very, very common, and she lost all of her following. But if she had a backup, which is why she brought me on, then she would have their emails and she would have, felt more comfortable. It's never like you can fully recover everything, but if she had had like a newsletter or something where she had really captured those emails and kept in contact, it's about having those backup plans and a full marketing plan where you could target people on different platforms for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely agree about that. So what about social media content? Are there posts or hashtags that businesses can include so that they can improve the opportunity of their business being found when people are searching on the social media platforms?
Oh, for sure. I think as far as posting goes, it's about creating great organic content. I think that every small business or entrepreneur has an opportunity to really showcase what their knowledge is. I think there's a lot of bakeries, there's a lot of small business companies, but each one of us, our story is so unique, our history is unique. Where I'm coming from, my background, I think every business owner is has an opportunity to brand themselves as the expert that they are because they have their own history and own story. And I think audiences are hungry for that. So in creating content, it's about being original and being genuine and speaking to your story and capturing great, unique images of your business and of your background. And I think as far as using hashtags, it's another opportunity to show who you are and where you are. You can tag your location. You can put Washington, D.C. You can tag vegan bakery. It's really a chance for people looking for you to be able to find you. So it's definitely an opportunity that anybody on social media doesn't want to miss. And I think in the spirit of hashtags, also that collaboration is what social media is for. Tagging local businesses, following local businesses, being interactive and sharing what people post that might not be in direct competition with you. But if there's another local restaurant or I see social media tips all day long and I share them no matter where they're from, it's that opportunity for engagement. And if I share their things, they share mine and might open up my audience to some of theirs. So hashtags one way to do that. Tagging's another way to do that. And just overall interacting with the platform for sure.
Yes, and I love just the collaboration that can happen when another business sees somebody in the area, like another business, and they say, "Oh, maybe we could team up and collaborate and have an event or something."
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's found just because of what people are putting on social media, announcing some special that they have, and then I see, "Oh, I could add to this, add value to this for our community." So I think that's awesome.
So true. And I think also, I love that you said that sometimes when we talk about electronic media, SEO is important, websites important, social media is important, but sometimes that those interactions, those meetings, those collaborations are how you drive traffic. I think sometimes we miss out on, we lost in-person events for some time, we lost things like that, but now that things are reopening, definitely that is a form of marketing, is meeting and collaborating, exchanging business cards and driving traffic to your website that way. I've made a number of relationships just by, saying, let's collaborate. We love small businesses. We love women. We're promoting Black owned businesses. So making those partnerships and using that to promote and boost your websites and your platforms is really beneficial.
All right. So thank you again, Amber. So I don't want to be selfish and keep you to myself. So I would love for people to be able to find you and get all your wisdom and knowledge and see if they can work with you. So how would you like people to find you?
Thanks so much. People can find me at my website, chaneycommunications.com, or on Instagram, Chaney Communications. And if you click the link in my bio on my Instagram, I teach a free social media course every single month for small businesses. This week it's on the 21st, Wednesday evening. So be sure to click the link in my Instagram bio and join me. But thank you again so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
All right. And one question of the day, which I usually don't ask, but I feel like I want to ask now, is out of all those platforms you just mentioned, what is your favorite social platform to
Hmm.
be on?
That's a great question. Okay. I do love Instagram. I feel like it's so interactive for tagging and going live, and you can invite people to be on a party and go live with you and collaborate with small businesses. But it's comfortable for me on Instagram. The booming platform is TikTok, and that requires a lot of talking and videos and putting stuff together. But that's the best platform, and it's only going to continue to grow. So that's what I recommend for sure. And I need to be more active on TikTok.
Yes, me too. I
Yeah.
The most activity I have is when my kids want to play with a filter, and I'll be like, okay, let's post that.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything really for my business yet.
Right, right. And it's great because, the algorithm is really strong. Once you start looking for things, they just pop up. So people that are saying, I market social media, I market making clothes, or I'm a baker, it's really great accessibility and marketing to really promote your brand. So TikTok's on the rise.
Well, maybe that is a future collaboration we can do. We can share
Yes.
our experience with everybody, how we upped our TikTok strategy and all the results we got.
Yes, we need to. We need to be on the move.
Yes, awesome. Again, well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This was wonderful.
Yay.
All right. Amber, I have really enjoyed our conversation, and personally, I have learned a lot more about marketing plans and local SEO than I thought I already knew. So thank you for your time and your wisdom. Now, be sure to subscribe to our podcast, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast on one of the podcast platforms. And please do us a favor and share this content with somebody you know who would benefit from the marketing tips we share. As always, our offer for a free 1-hour marketing consultation is available. So if you want some help improving your local SEO game, let's jump on a call and tackle this together. Until then, have a great week, and we can't wait to chat to you again next week, Wednesday, when we'll be wrapping up this mini series on local SEO by discussing some of the local paid advertisement options we have for us. If your organic reach is starting to tap out and max out, let's see what paid options work best for your small business. All right, until then, have a great week.